The air crackled with tension. Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. Smith, once the dynamic duo of sports talk, were locked in an icy silence. Their easy banter, the hallmark of their show, had vanished. In its place was a void, filled with unspoken accusations and simmering resentment. The world watched, stunned, as a brotherhood built on fiery debates and mutual respect crumbled before their eyes. What had gone wrong? The seeds of discord, it turned out, had been sown long before this public frost. Sources whispered of growing competition, of Sharpe's burgeoning success with his podcast, Club Shay, stirring unease in Smith. Had the student surpassed the master? Was there room for only one alpha in the world of sports commentary? The public breakup, when it finally came, was swift and brutal. No tearful farewells, no last hurrahs, just a stark announcement, confirming what everyone already suspected: the partnership was over. Sharpe was out. The fallout sent shockwaves through the sports world. Fans mourned the loss of their favorite sparring partners. Colleagues exchanged uneasy glances. The kings of sports talk, it seemed, had been dethroned by a force far more insidious than any rival network: their own ambition. The catalyst for the final split was a lawsuit, a scandal that rocked Shannon Sharpe's world. A young woman accused the former NFL star of assault, unleashing a media firestorm. The allegations, graphic and deeply damaging, threatened to derail Sharpe's career. He needed an ally, a friend to stand by him in his hour of need. Stephen A. Smith, however, remained conspicuously silent. Instead of offering support, he offered platitudes, vague pronouncements about the seriousness of the allegations and the potential impact on Sharpe's future at ESPN. His words, carefully measured, seemed less an act of loyalty and more a calculated attempt to distance himself from the controversy. For Sharpe, the message was clear: he was on his own. The man he had considered a friend, a brother in arms, had abandoned him in his moment of greatest need. The betrayal cut deep, severing the fragile threads of their once unbreakable bond. The lawsuit, regardless of its outcome, had exposed a truth neither man could ignore. The brotherhood they had so carefully cultivated was built on a foundation of sand. When the storm hit, it crumbled, revealing the fault lines that had always existed beneath the surface. Stephen A. Smith's reaction, or lack thereof, to the allegations against Shannon Sharpe sent shockwaves through the sports world. Fans, accustomed to his unwavering loyalty to his inner circle, were baffled. Where was the fierce defender of Jay-Z, the man who had publicly stood by the music mogul during past scandals? Why was Sharpe, his supposed friend and colleague, being treated so differently? Social media erupted, with fans and celebrities alike weighing in on the controversy. Rapper Mace, a close friend of Sharpe, publicly slammed Smith, calling him a snake and an opportunist. More concerned with protecting his own image than standing by his friend, the court of public opinion had reached a verdict. Stephen A. Smith was guilty of betrayal. Smith, for his part, seemed unfazed by the criticism. He continued to offer carefully worded statements expressing concern for both Sharpe and the alleged victim, but never once offering a full-throated defense of his former co-host. His actions spoke louder than words. He was distancing himself from Sharpe, protecting his own brand from the taint of scandal. The public backlash, however, was swift and unforgiving. Smith, once the undisputed king of sports talk, found himself on the defensive, his carefully constructed image tarnished by accusations of hypocrisy and disloyalty. The fallout from the Sharpe scandal, it seemed, would follow him long after the headlines faded. The seeds of discord between Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. Smith, according to insiders, were sown long before the lawsuit. Sharpe's burgeoning success with his podcast, Club Shay, had reportedly sparked jealousy and insecurity in Smith. The easy camaraderie they displayed on screen masked a simmering tension, a rivalry fueled by ego and ambition. Sharpe, for his part, seemed to sense the shifting dynamic. He grew more assertive on air, challenging Smith's opinions with a newfound confidence. Their debates, once a source of amusement for viewers, took on an edge, a palpable tension that hinted at the growing rift between them. The lawsuit, and Smith's subsequent reaction, merely brought these underlying tensions to the surface. It exposed the fragility of their bond, the realization that their partnership, for all its success, was ultimately a business transaction. When the time came to choose between loyalty and self-preservation, Smith chose the latter. The future for both men remains uncertain. Sharpe, his reputation tarnished but his spirit unbroken, is rebuilding his career, navigating the treacherous waters of public redemption. Smith, meanwhile, remains a towering figure in the world of sports media, though his legacy is now forever stained by the shadow of betrayal. The fallout from their feud serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder that even the strongest of bonds can be shattered by the corrosive forces of ego, ambition, and the fickle nature of public opinion. In the end, the kings of sports talk were brought down not by a rival network, but by the very human flaws that had once made their partnership so compelling. Alright, sports fans, buckle up. We're diving deep into the Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe saga. Did Stephen A. betray Shannon? Let's find out. So, Stephen A. went into full-blown damage control, jumping on his podcast Big Boys Show literally anywhere he could talk. He was trying to paint himself as Shannon's supporter, saying things like, "I believe in Shannon's innocence," and even hinting at a setup. But here's the kicker, it was too little, too late. Fans and celebs called him out for switching sides only when it was convenient. Loyalty? Nah, it looked more like liability. Now let's talk about the corporate clout. ESPN and Disney. Stephen A. knows Disney doesn't mess around with its image. He even admitted that when a scandal hits, they move fast to protect the brand. Was he distancing himself from Shannon to play the corporate game smartly? Maybe. But at what cost? He might have lost the trust of someone who considered him a friend. Right now, Shannon Sharpe has ghosted Stephen A. No public support, no mutual acknowledgement, just silence. And Stephen A., he's still out here explaining, spinning, trying to reclaim the narrative. This moment exposed cracks in the empire. Fans are watching, not just what Stephen says, but when he says it, and who he says it for. So what do you think? Did Stephen A. Smith really betray Shannon Sharpe, or was he just playing it smart in a high-stakes media game? One thing's for sure, this wasn't just about a lawsuit, it was about loyalty, image, ego, and the price of playing both sides. If you want more raw, unfiltered commentary like this, hit that like button, subscribe to Spectra Showcase, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're diving deep every week, and trust me, we're just getting started.